We begin with a moment's silence for a fallen comrade. Ex-Fylde boss Dave Challoner has been sacked from his job at Hartlepool United by chairman Raj Singh. Hartlepool are currently 15th and have only won one of their last 5 games in the league. That's enough of that. In fact, to begin episode 16 of AFC Fylde Still We Rise, we'll have a look at the managerial changes that have taken place recently. As you can see, Dave Challoner, sacked by Hartlepool. The favourite at the time was Gary Megson to get the role. He's ended up at Bristol Rovers, so the Hartlepool chairman there will have to look elsewhere. Gary Bowyer is in at Salford, and Neil Harris will be taking up the Millwall job. I mean, that's like a hand into a glove, really, isn't it? In our own league, John Sheridan has got the Yeovil gig. He's been the catalyst for their recent surge in form. That's taken them out of the relegation zone, as we saw in the last episode. Martin O'Neill is in at Cardiff alongside his assistant, Roy Keane. Tim Sherwood was sacked from Cambridge. That's unfortunate. Nigel Adkins is in at Ipswich. Steve McLaren returns to football with Wigan. And Tony Poulis has taken over at Ewood Park. Both Blackburn and Wigan doing rather badly in the Championship. Laurent Banide, a former Monaco boss, is in at Notts County. Notts, you'll recall, are favourites, or certainly were at the start of the season, for the National League, but find themselves now down in 10th place. Other managerial movements see Lee Nogan was hired for Alfreton. They were our victims in an early round of the FA Cup. In terms of jobs that are currently available, MK Dons, Hull, the aforementioned Cambridge and Hartlepool roles. Interestingly, Kings Lynn and York, 2 clubs certainly vying for promotion in the real-life National League North. Favourite for the York and indeed the Farsley job, a certain Jim Bentley. Well, let's hope that he lands on his feet there. In transfer news, we have signed Jack Muldoon. We talked about it in the last episode, putting a bid in for him. He has now arrived from Harrogate. Former Fylde player, we know all about him. Can cover both at right wing and up front, which is exactly what we needed. Already, he has got himself a goal and an assist in just 2 games. The other player that we have signed, Jovan Malcolm, West Brom youngster, a young striker who again can play right wing forward, and he can probably do a bit of a job on the left if required. His stats look fairly promising. I'm hoping that we can create a bit of a connection with him, and that might prompt him to stay here should his contract expire with West Brom. Today we're going to feature 2 games, so it's going to be a long one. Strap yourself in. Gloucester in our FA Cup second round replay. You will recall the 3-3 draw in our last episode. And then we play Hemel Hempstead just 3 days later in the FA Trophy first round. In terms of the side for the Gloucester game, the replay, it's our pretty much strongest 11. Crowsdale is in at defensive midfield instead of Montrose. Jovan Malcolm makes the bench, but Jack Muldoon is cup tied for this one. so he can't feature. The two games that he missed, we walked all over Bromley. We went through them like salt through a widowed woman. Muldoon grabbing a penalty, I decided to let him have a crack. Philliskirk got off the mark as well, that was great to see. However, Ebbsfleet, we had to rely on an Alex Whitmore corner goal, our set pieces proving decisive. Jack Muldoon also missed a penalty. He had quite a poor game in truth. He was playing up top for most of it. So it seems as though he's certainly been in the action. We are now slightly spending over our wage budget, just by a few £100. But one key decision has been made. We have signed Luke Burke to a brand new contract. He is one of the best players at the club. He's on 1.8k a week. We did have to negotiate quite a lot of his bonuses and things down. His non-promotion release clause is set at £250,000. Minimum fee release clause for anybody in a higher division is now £1 million. The supporters are pretty pleased. As well they should be. I'm quite happy to have secured a 21-year-old with promising stats, and he puts in a good shift for us. I've not many bad things to say about Luke Burke. The other big news is the FA Cup third round draw was conducted, and we got ourselves a big side. In real life, you will recall that Fylde went to Bramall Lane and Sheffield United. Edit that out. We took on the Blades, got ourselves a goal, but ultimately lost the game. We'll have a similar opportunity to play a Premier League side, but it is one of the biggest. Manchester City will play Gloucester or Fylde, which has meant that this replay that we're going to play today has taken on a whole new significance. And that's why we're playing our strongest 11. There's no messing about now. We have to win this game. I'm not going to give him number 13 or number 3. That just seems weird for a striker. I'll give him 23. It's amazing how David Beckham's use of that number has now made it cool. It used to be one of the ones to avoid. I think it was the last one in a World Cup squad. Again, the big danger will be Napa on the right, McClure up top. There is no Bernard Mensah in the team. I seem to remember he was injured late on in the first leg. Kenny McKenna there, not exactly firing up the lads, but hopefully the carrot dangling on the stick of Manchester City, another club here in the northwest, should give the players all the motivation they need to get this result at Mill Farm in, I have to say, the hail, which is, for any international viewers watching, very unusual for Lancashire. It's normally one of the nicest, warmest, sunniest climates in the United Kingdom. Very unusual. Rarely see a drop of rain, to be honest. Although, as I say that, actually I look out the window and it is a clear blue sky. We could do with an early goal here, couldn't we? A couple of blocks. Luke Burke there celebrating his contract by getting a foot in. Always like to see that. And we clear the corner away. It's going to come back though through Napa. Alas, it did not materialise to anything. Gloucester playing a flat 4-4-2. And they've had the better of the start. More shots on the board. So we need to get the ball forward. As I say that, we do the complete opposite. But here we go. Williams out wide. He's kept hold of the ball. Kozolo with the effort. Held by Jaycock. Am I saying that right? Jaycock? Giacock. Sounds like a greeting of a Geordie woman. One of our famous corners. Here we go. And it's in. Thanking you, Jordan Williams. That's got us off to a good start. 22 minutes on the clock. I seem to go in off somebody's arse, I suspect. Yeah. Keeper with a fairly weak clearance fell straight to Jordan Williams, who's not going to miss from that range. I believe it was his 10th goal of the season in all competitions. But here it come. They respond immediately, Gloucester. Luca Navarro. A continental sounding name for a very small club. Allen here. Burke showing him inside. That's what you're supposed to do. But still giving him the space to get across into Navarro. And Dan Lavercombe is beaten by the flight of the ball. Okay, we just need to calm things down here. Gloucester seem to be very fired up. Let's just encourage the lads once more. Just remind them, you know, we are first in the National League here against a side in the league below. You should be in front. Jamie Proctor, not really done much in this game just yet. We could do with a bit more from our on-loan man from Rotherham. Just as I say that, he plays a great ball through for Jordan Williams to crack an effort off. And it's another corner. This one, out for a goal kick. Not really causing any danger there. That's what our corners have been doing all season though. Creating a bit of havoc, a bit of chaos in the box. And here another set piece. No, that's too easy for Jaycock. He could have thrown his cap on that, couldn't he? Walker down the line. And it's Crowsdale, a very similar goal to the one he scored in the opening game. The first one against Gloucester from the edge of the box. This is one of those times when his tendencies to get forward, despite being our defensive midfielder, working for us. It works well against sides lower down that you're expected to beat. But as soon as you put us against anybody sort of top half of the National League, it means that there are massive gaps behind, especially because they're going to have more possession, they're going to stretch us a bit more. And Crowsdale really just needs to sit in. But he has a tendency, despite being on a defensive setting, to go further forward than Walker and Horton in front of him. Now that's not normally a problem if you've got, say, a box-to-box midfielder, because there you will drop back. But unfortunately, as we're playing Nick Horton, who is, I think we've got him on as a central midfielder on attack, he doesn't naturally slot back in. It's very much the old Gilberto Silva, Patrick Vieira principle at Arsenal. Although even as I say that, I do wonder, 15 years ago, how many viewers will actually remember that. Basically what happened was one of them would go forward, the other would just slot in and stay in front of the back two, because normally Arsenal's full-backs like to attack, and shore everything up. I'm just going to quickly make a change. As we're leading, we're going to give Andy Taylor a rest. In the second half, I hope we'll have a chance to bring on young Jovan Malcolm, another on loan star. The ideal scenario will be that we get an early goal in this second half, don't concede, and then we can maybe bring on Phyllis Kirk on the right, give him a bit of game time and give Kozolo a bit of a rest, and young Malcolm up front for Jamie Proctor, who has contributed to this game. You know, it was his assist for the Williams goal. Was it the Williams goal? Could have been the Crowsdale one. Oh no, the Williams, of course, was the volley off the goalkeeper. But it's these sort of moments that worry me. You get opportunities to put crosses into the box, and all it needs is for one of our defenders, I'm looking at you, Carl Jameson, to put a hand on an opponent, they go down, and all of a sudden, Gloucester have got a penalty. But that is a cracking goal by Jordan Williams. He's got his knee over it, hard and low into the far corner. You expect Jaycock to do better there. I mean, he's a little bit unsighted by the defender, and then the bounce just in front of him as well. He puts his head in his hands, and it's no surprise. That's given us our 2-goal lead, so we're just going to give it until the hour mark. Before we make our changes. Can we get a 4th goal? No. I think that is a bit of a message from Jamie Proctor to say that now he's got 2 assists, he would like a bit of a rest. So let's bring on the young man. See what forward rolls. He's not actually a brilliant forward, is he? Let's swap him around. Ah! We found our place. Phyllis Kirk has been a difficult one to figure out what exactly he is. I'm going to try him as a poacher for the rest of the game. I mean, we've not tried that before. We are, of course, leaving us at risk here because we've made all 3 substitutions. This, of course, happened a few weeks ago when Dan Bradley got injured on the hour, and we had to make do against FC Halifax with just 10 men. We did have a 2-goal lead that day as well. So let's hope that Gloucester don't resort to just booting our boys around, and we can secure the match, the lucrative match against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium in the FA Cup 3rd round. I mean, we are going to get our arses kicked, let's face it. I mean, it could be 10-0, it could be. But I will say, if we lose 10-1, I would be quite pleased to get a goal against Manchester City. I can't imagine they'll play the full team, the first team. Although, with Pep Guardiola, they, you can't tell if it's a bad team or not. Just over the weekend, I think he made 8 changes between 2 games. And won by an average score of, accumulated score of 8-0 against Arsenal and Burnley. So, who knows? I mean, he left Kevin De Bruyne on the bench. Aguero was on the bench for the first game. Didn't play a lot of the second either. When you've got people like Gabriel Jesus that can just come in, you know, a full international, you're not doing too badly, are you? I don't even think John Stones played, certainly didn't against Burnley. I think. And there you go, England international, not even needed. Oh, that's an awful strike. Jordan Williams with his 2 goals. I suspect he's going to collect the Man of the Match award. We haven't seen much from our substitutes, Malcolm and Philliskirk. Jameson with the strike there, as Gloucester switch to a 3-5-2. They're obviously looking to get a bit of possession, and it could pay off here. Side netting. Negative. Negative. It's surprising that 2 of the players from the first leg, Napper and McClure, who played so well, not so today. They've very much been on the periphery of the game. Gloucester have been led in terms of performance by Allen and the goal scorer Navarro. Surprising as well. And now Napper's picked up a bit of a knock. Maliki Napper. This should be it. We're 43 seconds over the allotted time. There we have it. We are through to the next round, where we will take on the superstars of Manchester City, with their medals tucked into their wash bags. But first, before we even entertain that idea, and believe me, that will be a game we live com here on YouTube, we have to go to we have to welcome Hemel Hempstead to Mill Farm. We're going to race through the next few days. 54,000 in the pot. I expect a very happy chairman. Let's just have a look at Williams here. You were superb in front of goal. Yes, you were. I mean, that late chance aside, he's an exceptional player. And there we have it. Fylde will play Manchester City at what is officially known as the City of Manchester Stadium. We would all know it as the Etihad. They are 3rd in the Premier League. 3rd. I bet they're not far off top spot either, are they? 7 points. Liverpool still leading the way, and Arsenal are still down in 8th. I'm not going to mess about with the training schedule. We've only got, well, effectively 1 day of training beforehand, and one of those slots is taken up with a match preview anyway. It is quite a busy week. Gloucester on the Wednesday, Hemel Hempstead Saturday, and then we've got another midweek tie against Barrow Tuesday. So just 2 games between fixtures. Challoner sat by Hartlepool, still the big story. Joe Booth again. Honestly, he must have like a special phone line to the papers every time, popping up with his little comments. In terms of our spending, hardly anybody's actually spent any cash. Hartlepool have spent 100 grand. Barnet? How have Barnet spent 474k? Where's your transfers? Oh, that means they must have received it for Jack Taylor. I don't understand that. Early assessment of the youth intake. There are a lot of wingers. That's nice. Fullbacks, plenty of promise. We have 1 good English right back from Blackpool's caught the eye. Well, I'll have to release Russell Knowles into the wild in that case. scouting meeting. I mean, I have potential to feature in the first team. Nope. No. No. Ah, Matt McClure. Extremely interested. Add into our shortlist and acknowledge. I have potential. Can't make a living off of potential, son. You've got to get it done. For the Hemel Hempstead game, we will just quickly refresh the lineup. This would not be a good time to lose my ability to speak. Do we have... What number subs do we have for this one? We don't have 7, so we can rest a few players. Bradders still not fit. James Montgomery has been ill slightly. Going to continue with Lavacum, but Neil Byrne can have a start. Where's Russell Knowles? There you are. Kozolo will be rested for Jack Muldoon. Yates in on the left as his preferred inside forward role. Montrose for Crowsdale. I'm going to stop there. Malcolm can have a place on the bench. And we'll just keep Jordan Williams. I'm going to drop Jamie Proctor for Danny Philliskirk. But I'm going to keep him in the exact same role that we would have had for Proctor. Yeah, if we keep Jordan Williams on the bench, that means he can cover basically left wing, right wing and forward. Javan Malcolm could get a second bite of the cherry. Andy Keller for Andy Taylor. Let's go. None of these are going to feature. Give Luke Burke a rest. Kurt Willoughby, he isn't fit yet. Did I see a postponement then? Boston have postponed their game. Nobody else has. Not one other team. Must be bleak in Boston at the moment. I am conscious of how long this episode is going to be. It's probably going to be around the 40-minute mark. So if you need to watch it in 2 installments, don't worry about it. That's perfectly fine. Ideally, I want to start getting episodes down to the sort of 20-minute mark. But it is tough to do sort of updates and then do a game. Especially when we're on extended highlights. And there's always a lot going on. So, Hemel Hempstead are playing a flat 4-4-2. I may have mentioned it in the last episode, in fact I'm fairly sure I did. We have agreed that should it be a draw here today at Mill Farm, we will go into extra time and then potentially penalties. We are not messing about with a replay. We're not putting ourselves through another fixture, especially when we've got that FA Cup 3rd round tie to come. I want everybody to have the opportunity to play in that game. I mean, not everybody will, but they should have the chance. Oh, it's a couple of good saves there by Grimshaw in the Hemel Hempstead goal. Let's keep this momentum going. Let's get forward. Yates surging in there. Is there going to be a chance? Knowles has got it back. Good persistence by the young lad. Not going to go anywhere this time. Throw in it down by the corner flag. Just need somebody to put their foot through it there, don't we? A clearance off the line there. Oh, but Byrne is back forward. He's giving away a penalty. Now, did he let me change the taker? Should I change the taker? Last time we let Muldoon, but he missed last time. We're not going to risk that. We shall let Danny Philliskirk stick it away. Well done to straight down the middle. Unbelievable. Of all the places, the only time you ever stick it straight down the middle is in the last minute of the game, because there's no goalkeeper in the world that is going to just stand there and look ridiculous by slotting it away to either side of him. He's always going to dive one way or the other. That's the only time you go down the middle. That's 2 now. Muldoon and Philliskirk have missed our last 2 penalties. I need Jamie Proctor back on those. If Jamie Proctor had been on the pitch, he would have taken that, and we'd have been 1-0 up. Right, we just got to go and get another penalty. This is you, Muldoon. Get a penalty for us. Side netting, and not even close either. Come on, Jack. Oh, I don't like these moments. We are absolutely dominating. You can see 8 shots to 0. 9 now. It just feels like it's always one of those games where they could just run up the other end on the counter and catch you out. I'm not feeling it, I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, their first shot was on target. Grimshaw. I mean, it's rare to see a goalkeeper get a rating that turns his little square green there. Well, hopefully we can beat him and that'll knock it back down. Do with getting the ball forward here, chaps. Andy Kellett's got a bit of a strike on him, but it's a cross this time. And a goal kick. Half an hour on the clock, and it already feels like one of those games when Grimshaw's going to play a blinder. Oh, I hate getting a corner and they don't give me a highlight. A wayward finish again. It does worry me when you're not getting a highlight off a shot on goal. Means it probably struck the corner flag. Kellett now, he needs to get the ball in there, doesn't he? And Muldoon? Was that a goal? Oh, it wasn't. I could have sworn that was a goal. Probably should have been a goal. And this is where Hemel Hempstead will try to counter. Only we've won the throw in there. Alright, let's get that ball forward, shall we? I'm going to score it in our own defence. Yates firing it over. Unlikely to find the net from that sort of angle. Not with Grimshaw in good form. Just prior to the break here. Oh, there was a sliding tackle there. I mean, how difficult is it to feel a touch and go down? You know, if Yates had gone down there, potentially we get a penalty, don't we? I'm going to be assertive here. Get back out there. No, just Lewis Montrose gained confidence. Okay. Is there anybody we want to change before the second half? Let's give Whitmore a run at right back again. He tends to do okay there. And if I get worried about the opposition launching a counter, he's a little bit more solid than young Russell Knowles, who you'll remember was actually he was a greyed out youth prospect. And one of the tips for lower league managers out there is, if you are desperate for a player, just take a look down there and just offer one a youth contract. Get them on board just to fill things out in the squad. It's we've no real backup for Luke Burke. I know we're playing Whitmore there now, but he is a central defender. He's not a right back at all. I think he's had a couple of appearances there. Never let us down, I think, but he's not a specialist at all. "66 minutes on the clock. Nothing happening. Right, we're going to go for a change up front. Philliskirk off. Sorry, I meant to bring on young Malcolm then. I don't think we're going to turn to Jordan Williams just yet. And we're going to move Jack Muldoon up front. Let's see if Malcolm can inspire us to anything here. Howell has taken a knock for Hemel Hempstead. And here we go. We're in the forward position. Yates with the cross. Oh, he's gone for the shot and it's behind the goal. "10 to go. Tyrone Sterling picks up a booking, the left back. So he's up against now Malcolm, isn't he? Our right winger. Horton forward, Muldoon. Oh, and it's a penalty. Who did that say was going to take it then? I missed that. It's another penalty. Who is our penalty taker? Penalty. Must be Yates, mustn't it? He's the only one that's on the pitch. Yeah. So, do we give it Yates or do we let Muldoon take it? Oh, what if it goes wrong? Muldoon. If it'll let us, it probably won't let us now, will it? Oh, it's Yates, it's still Yates. And he sets it saved as well. Ah, 2 penalties. Oh, rub it in. I mean, how that's not gone in. Oh, Marky Mark. Of course, the goalkeeper's going to pluck that out of the air, Grimshaw. I mean, he seems to be on fire. He is on fuego. That's it. Jack Muldoon forward. Horton. Oh, the chance was there. We're getting the chances in the final minute. Look at Grimshaw. An 8.0 for a goalkeeper. Well played, sir. My dilly-dallying with the penalty taker probably cost us. That's 3 missed penalties in the last 3. And we're going into extra time. Oh god, it's penalties after that. Andy Kellett seemed to lose confidence. I don't care about your confidence. Right. Muldoon's coming off. Williams is on. Jordan Williams can play as a forward. Let's start extra time. I should have really kept that on my sleeve, just in case we need him on as an extra taker. Because Christ knows that we'd struggle to find people who can stick away a penalty. Oh, well, at least Neil Burns playing well. It's not happening though here in the 25 shots we've had. Hit the ball. Hit the ball. Montrose there. Now Howell's booked the left winger for Hemel Hempstead. Kellett's now playing well apparently. Oh. For a player with quite a fragile confidence, seems to be doing well. Oh, we're in extra time. It's not going so brilliantly. Who's this now? Now Malcolm's injured. Can I bring him off? Will you let me? Ooh, I can. Right. Who plays on the left though? I think it's him. Right, we're going to go Nick Horton on the left. I mean, he's probably not a big... Is Tom Walker left-footed? Yes, he is. We're swapping that over. Oh, Grimshaw saves again. Of course he does. Oh, it's a right, sorry. Here's the right wing we need, isn't it? Yeah, you can stay out there. He's right-footed. So, extra time, second half. Oh. This is going to go to penalties, isn't it? We're going to get knocked out in the FA Trophy first round of the competition that we won last season. All because we had to play Gloucester in a replay. How's he not finishing that? How is he not finishing that one? What's annoying me is that physically we're weaker than Hemel Hempstead. Hemel Hempstead. 32 shots on goal. Lavacum with the save. I mean, the defence has played well. Just need one of them to nod one in from a free kick like that. 5 minutes to go on the clock. Now? There's another booking we're taking there. That's it. Wide. Get it wide. Width. Width. Thank you. Christ, was behind it, wasn't it? Grimshaw tips it over. I did say at the start, early on, I don't think he's going to be beaten. Although I'll celebrate if we do. No, it's going all the way back. Oh, it's going to be penalties. This is going to be excruciating. I am not brilliant when it comes to penalties. And Christ, we needed Lavacum to make a save there, didn't we? Here's Williams. Can he do some of that? No. So the magic from the previous game, where he slotted 2 away. Let's get the cross in. Right, corner. Is it going to let us take it? Let us take it. Let us take it. There we go. Out for another corner, but it's penalties. It is penalties. It's not penalties. I'm sorry, what? I don't get penalties? What? Am I being thick here? Oh, we've got to go to a replay. It's another replay. Okay. Well, this episode has lasted 44 minutes so far, so we're going to end there. We have to go to Vauxhall Road for a replay against Hemel Hempstead.